Welcome back to our channel. In this video we are going to study about demand, law of demand and other related concepts. Let us begin with the meaning of demand. Demand refers to the quantity of a product or service that consumers are willing and able to purchase at various price levels during a specific period of time. We need to make a note here. Demand is not just the desire for a product, but it is also backed by the ability to pay for it. Example, we can consider here, if a person wants to buy an iPhone in India but does not have enough money, it does not constitute actual demand. However, if someone can afford and is willing to purchase the iPhone at a certain price, that forms a part of demand for iPhone in India. Determinants of demand. Several factors influence demand, often referred to as the determinants of demand. Number one, price of the good or services. If the price of petrol in India increases significantly, consumers may reduce their petrol consumption, opting for public transport or electric vehicle. This shows how price influences demand. Number two, income of the consumers. In India, as the middle class has grown with rising income, there has been an increase in the demand for premium products like a smartphone and cars. Taste and preferences. With increasing health consciousness in India, the demand for organic food and fitness product has increased, while the demand for junk food may decline. Prices of related goods, that is substitute and complement goods. What is substitute goods? Goods that can replace each other. Example, if the price of tea rises, some Indian consumer might switch to coffee, a substitute goods, thus increasing the demand for coffee. Complement goods, the goods that are used together. Example, if the price of a smartphone increases, it could lead to an increase in the demand for mobile accessories like earphone or phone covers. Consumer expectation. If consumer in India expect that the price of gold will rise in the future, they might increase their demand for gold now. Population size and demographic. India has a young and large population, driving the demand for smartphone, online education platform and fast fashion. This demographic factors significantly influences demand pattern. Government policies. When the Indian government offers subsidies on electric vehicle, the demand for electric vehicle like the Tata Nexon EV increases due to the price incentive. Seasonality. During Diwali, the demand for sweets, firework and traditional clothing increases significantly in India. Demand fluctuates based on seasonal festivals. Law of demand. The law of demand states that all other factors being equal, as the price of a good or service decreases, the quantity demanded increases, and as the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases. Note, we need to make a here. See here, whatever we said, they have an inverse relationship between price and demand. Now, key point we need to consider when we are understanding law of demand. Inverse relationship. When prices goes up, consumer buy less, and when prices goes down, consumer buy more. Other things being same, the law assumes that all other factors like consumer income, preferences and price of related goods remain constant. Demand curve. Graphically, the above relationship is shown as a downward sloping curve from left to right. Example, imagine a consumer shopping for apples. At rupees 50 per kg, consumer might buy only 1 kg because he feels expensive. If the price drops to rupees 30 per kg, he might decide to buy 2 kgs as he feel more affordable. If the price falls further to rupees 20 per kg, he might buy 3 kgs, stocking up as it has a great deal. Assumptions of law of demand. No changes in the income of the consumer. There should not be any change in the income of consumer. If the price of a particular commodity has increased, but on the contrary, if the income of consumer also increases, then the law of demand will not be applicable. No changes in the taste and preferences. The consumer taste, habit, preferences, fashion should not change. If there is any changes in these elements, the demand will not decrease. Even though there is an increase in the price, hence the law of demand will not be applicable. No future expectation. The consumer should act according to the current market condition. If a consumer expects further increase in the price level, he will demand more. No changes in the population. It is assumed that there are no changes in the size of population. If the size of population of a country increases, there will be more demand even if prices are more. If the size of population of a country decreases, there will be less demand even though the prices are low. No changes in the price of complementary and substitute goods. When the prices of substitute and complementary goods and services changes, the demand for a particular product also changes. Hence, in order to study the demand tendency of a particular product, we have to assume that there will be no changes in the prices of complementary and substitute goods. No change in the fashion. If the commodity concerned goes out the fashion, the buyer may not buy more even if the price is less. No change in the range of goods available to the consumer. This implies that there is no innovation and arrival of new variety of product in the market, which may change consumer preferences. No change of government policy. The level of tax and the fiscal policy of the government remains the same throughout the operation of the law. Otherwise, change in income tax, for example, may cause changes in consumer income. Exceptions to the law of demand. The law of demand has some notable exceptions where the typical inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded does not hold good. Now these exceptions are: number one, given goods. These are inferior goods for which demand increases when the price increases. For example, in some cases, when the price of staple goods like bread, rice rises, low-income consumer may buy more of it because they can no longer afford more expensive alternatives. Veblen goods. For luxury goods, higher price may lead to higher demand because they are seen as status symbols. Example, expensive brand like luxury cars, Ferrari, Rolls-Royce or designer clothing may see more demand as their prices rise, as people associate them with prestige. Necessities. For essential goods like medicine or basic utilities, demand may not decrease significantly with rising prices because consumers have no substitute. Example, life-saving drugs or electricity often have inelastic demand, meaning people continue to buy them even at higher prices. Speculative demand. In situations where consumers expect prices to rise even further, they may buy more of the good as prices increase, expecting future gain. Example, in real estate or stock market, rising prices may lead to more demand as buyers expect further price increase. Ignorance. Consumer may not always have perfect information and might mistakenly believe that a higher price reflects better quality, leading them to buy more at a higher price. Example, a consumer might buy more of a higher priced water bottle assuming it's better than the cheaper one without checking the quality. Addictive goods. For goods that consumers are addicted like tobacco or alcohol, demand tends to remain stable or even increase regardless of price changes. Example, smokers may continue to buy cigarettes even if prices increase significantly because their consumption is driven by addiction. Necessity during emergency. In times of emergency, disaster or shortage, the demand for essential goods may increase regardless of the price changes. Example, during a natural disaster, the demand for bottled water, food and fuel may increase even if prices rise sharply due to scarcity. Highly differentiated product. Some goods are perceived as unique or differentiated based on branding, features or personal preferences, and consumer may buy them even at higher prices. Example, a specific brand of smartphones like Apple Samsung may experience strong demand even with the price increases because of brand loyalty and perceived uniqueness. Price quality perception. Some consumers associate higher prices with better quality and may increase their demand as price rises, believing they are getting a superior product. Example, consumer may prefer an expensive cosmetic brand over a cheaper one, assuming the higher price indicate a better ingredient or effectiveness. Non-substitute goods. For goods that have no close substitute, demand might not fall with the price increases because consumers have no other option. Example, a life-saving drug with no alternative treatment will likely see stable or increasing demand even if price increases. Importance of law of demand. It is fundamental in economics and plays an important role in various sectors. Here how we can understand the importance of demand. Determination of price. Law of demand helps in determining the optimal price of goods and services in a market. It guides a business on how consumers will respond to different price level, which is essential for setting prices to maximize revenue or achieving market objective. How it works? According to law of demand, as the prices of a product decreases, the quantity demanded increases and vice versa. This helps business set prices at a level where they can balance supply and demand efficiently. Example, if a mobile phone manufacturer observes that a consumer buy more phone when price drop from rupees 20,000 to rupees 15,000, they may decide to lower prices permanently to increase sales volume. Conversely, if rising price reduces demand, the company might reconsider a price hike to avoid losing customer. Importance to the finance minister. Finance minister uses law of demand to understand how taxes or subsidies on goods will affect demand, revenue and overall economic welfare. It is crucial in making decisions about indirect taxation such as a tax on goods or services and in forming fiscal policies. How it works? By understanding the law of demand, finance minister can predict how changes in taxation will affect consumption. High taxes may lead to reduced demand for certain goods, whereas subsidies can increase demand. For example, if a government introduces a subsidy on electric vehicle, making them cheaper, finance minister can anticipate an increase in demand for electric vehicle, promoting environmentally friendly choices. Importance to farmer. For farmers, understanding law of demand helps in deciding what crops to grow and at what prices to sell their produce. This knowledge is essential that they don't overproduce or set prices too high, which could lead to unsold inventory and financial losses. How it works? Farmers need to balance the price of their crops with the consumer demand. If the price is too high, consumer may reduce their purchase. And if it is too low, farmers may not cover their cost. Law of demand guides them in finding the optimal price. For example, suppose a farmer grows tomatoes and notices that when the price is rupees 40 per kg, the demand from buyer is low. But when the prices is reduced to rupees 30 per kg, demand increases significantly. Based on law of demand, the farmer might adjust prices to meet market condition and increase sales.